Hello students, today we are going to discuss about restriction. So whenever we are talking about biotechnology, that is also called recombinant DNA technology, this technology require three important tools, and that is a restriction enzyme, that is also called molecular Caesar. Second is a cloning vector, and third one is a competent host. So these three tools play very important role in case of a recombinant DNA technology. So in this chapter we will learn one by one. So first of all, we will start with the restriction enzymes, that is also called molecular Caesars. So now let me discuss what are the restriction enzymes, or we are calling it as a molecular Caesars. These are the enzymes which cut the DNA at a specific site into fragment. You know very well. During this phenomena, means recombinant DNA technology require cutting of DNA and joining of DNA. Okay, rejoining of a DNA. That's why it is considered as a recombinant DNA technology. So here these enzymes play a very important role, okay, because it is cutting the DNA at a specific site and cut the DNA into fragment. Okay, they belong to class enzyme called nucleases. So by widely we can say that the class nucleases include this type of enzymes, and that is considered as the molecular Caesars. Let us discuss more about nucleases. So nucleases are the enzyme which degrade the nucleic acid. Okay, how they are degrading the nucleic acid? By breaking the phosphodiester bond. And you know very well, only two nucleotides, any two nucleotide will join together by using phosphodiester bond. And if this degraded, okay, means if breaking of phosphodiester bond occur, two nucleotide will be separated from each other that hold the nucleotide together. Okay, so by this way, if breaking down of the phosphodiester bond is occur, then it will be, means it will be separate out this nucleotide. Restriction enzymes are good example of endonucleases. Okay, this restriction enzyme can be of two kinds, endonucleases and exonucleases. Okay, so restriction enzymes are included into endonucleases, which cut the DNA strand within the DNA strand. Okay, means how they are cutting is important. If within the DNA it is cutting, in between the DNA strand it is cutting, then it is called endonuclease enzyme. And if ends of the DNA, okay, both the end of DNA is cutting, okay, then it is called exonuclease. So a second group of nuclease which degrade the DNA from terminals, okay, means end of the molecule, that is a DNA molecule, are known as a exonuclease. So we can say that nucleases can be divided into two groups, exonuclease and endonuclease. But out of these two, endonuclease play very important role as a molecular Caesar. We are also calling it as a biological Caesar, and they are restriction enzymes. Now let me understand more by using this diagram how restriction enzymes will be work. As I told you, this phosphodiester bond will be break down. What happens, see here, this is the nucleotide 1, this is the nucleotide 2. Okay, in any DNA molecule, as you have learned already in standard 11 chapter number 9, a structure of a DNA. Okay, so these two nucleotides join together by using this phosphodiester bond. So exonuclease enzyme will cut the phosphodiester bond at the end of a DNA. Okay, that is not required in the biotechnology. Okay, why it is not required we will discuss in more detail. But here you can see here, in between these two nucleotide there is a phosphodiester bond, and that will be cut or break down by using endonuclease enzyme. So this is playing very important role, and as a result of a function of endonuclease, these two nucleotide will separate from each other. In 1963, two enzymes responsible for restricting growth of a bacteriophage, that is a pathogen for E. coli bacteria. Okay, this is one kind of virus which are pathogenic to the Escherichia coli. So inside the Escherichia coli it is found, or it is isolated, two enzymes are isolated, okay, from Escherichia coli bacteria. Out of them, one enzyme added methyl group to the DNA. One is responsible for addition of a methyl group in the DNA, and other one is responsible for cutting the DNA, and that is called restriction endonuclease. And today we have 900 type of restriction enzymes, more than 900 type of restriction enzymes, okay, have been isolated from over 230 strains of a bacteria. So many different kind of bacteria we have isolated, so many number, means more than 900 restriction enzymes we have isolated from 230 strains of nomenclature of a isolated restriction enzyme in a specific way. Let me discuss that. So first letter of whenever nomenclature is given, okay, name is given to the enzyme, one rule should be followed. Okay, so what is the rule? First letter indicate genus, here whenever you write down any restriction enzyme, suppose this is the restriction enzyme which is isolated from Escherichia coli bacteria. Okay, so what these first letter indicate, that must be in capital letter. It must be indicate the genus, that must be in capital. Okay, and second two letters, here you can see CO, that second two letters indicate species of the organism. Okay, species of the prokaryotic cell from which they will isolated. Example, echo R1. Okay, that is comes from the Escherichia coli, RY13. So RY, okay, R is a strain number. So first letter should be in capital, and that is indicating genus. Second two letter indicate the species, and further strain must be in capital letter. Okay, this is must in capital letter. So this is indicating strain. And last number, this is a number. It is not I, it is a 1. Okay, Roman 1. This 1 number indicate the Roman number and the order in which the enzyme were isolated from the strain of a bacteria. So these phenomena must be followed. These rules must be followed whenever you're going to nomenclate the enzymes. Now let me discuss about types of restriction enzymes. So as I told you already, restriction enzymes are actually nuclease enzyme. Okay, the nuclease enzyme must be divided into two groups. They are exonuclease enzyme and endonuclease enzyme. Okay, so exonuclease enzyme are the enzyme which remove nucleotides from the end of a DNA. Okay, and endonuclease enzyme are the enzyme which remove or cut the DNA from the specific position within the DNA. So they bind to specific recognition sequence before they cut the DNA. Before they cut or break down the phosphodiester bond, they require recognition of a sequence. As you know very well, DNA has a specific sequence. So they will recognize the sequence of the DNA, and based on the recognition, they will cut the two strand at a specific point. They don't do anything without any direction. Okay, so they will just recognize the sequence of DNA. Only after the recognition of a sequence of DNA, they can cut the DNA at specific point. Here you can see they will recognize the sequence. Okay, echo R1, they will recognize the sequence. They will cut between the A and G. Okay, they can only cut between A and G here also. So if they cut like this, here you can see they will cut like this, and they will form sticky ends. Okay, so one DNA fragment is cut by using this echo R1. Second DNA fragment also cut with the echo R1. Both will have sticky ends, and as they come together, they will form the hydrogen bond together, and as a result of that, they will join like this. And this is called recombinant First restriction DNA. Endonuclease is a hint to. It cuts the DNA by recognizing a specific sequence, and that specific sequence will have 6 base pairs. Okay, and this is called a recognition sequence. So for hint 2, a recognition sequence is made up of 6 base pairs. Here you can see this is the recognition sequence. Okay, having 6 base pairs together. Okay, so this is working as a recognition type of a sequence. Okay, and here some list is given. Here you can see some list is given for different kind of restriction enzymes, out of which if you observe these two, okay, it will generate blunt ends, and that's why they will not accepted as a restriction endonuclease as a tool of a biotechnology. So this must be avoided. Whenever this end is a blunt end, that must be avoided. Second, here you can see these three enzymes, restriction enzyme will generate this type of sticky ends. Okay, we will learn what is a sticky ends and what is a blunt end in next slides. So here you must be very clear, the biotechnology utilizes sticky ends only. So whatever the restriction enzyme produce sticky ends only accepted as a tool of a biotechnology. Rest other so many restriction enzymes are there, but they cannot be used as a biotechnological tool because they are forming blunt ends. Restriction endonuclease recognize a specific sequence, and that is a recognition sequence, and that is called palindromic nucleotide sequence. So palindromic sequence is a very uniquely formed a sequence. Here you can see what is a palindromic, you will get the clear cut idea. Here you can see from 5' if you are reading the sequence GAATTC, right? So further in the next strand, in the opposite strand, if you are reading from 5', that sequence will be same. Here you can see GAATTC. Okay, so the sequence are formed like this. If both the side, if reading is a similar way, then it is considered as a palindromic sequence. Here you can see this is the example. This is a GAATTC. If you are reading from this direction or if you are reading from this direction, from both the direction you can read same. Okay, so such a sequence are called palindromic sequence, and these sequence are recognition site for restriction enzyme from where they will cut the DNA. Okay, and here you can understand this is the recognition site, or we can say a palindromic sequence. Here you can see A, G, C, T if you are reading from this direction, and if you are reading from this direction, both the direction reading will be same. Okay, but here this will form a blunt ends in both the sequences. Okay, and here sticky ends. So sticky ends only accepted by the biotechnology. You can understand by using this diagram also what is the palindromic sequence. So if you are reading from 5' to 3' direction, okay, from these direction 5' to 3', and from here in next strand also, if you are reading 5' to 3', both the reading will be same. So if such a kind of a formation of a chain is there, okay, sequence is there, it is called palindromic sequence. Restriction enzymes cut the strand at a little away from the center of a palindromic sites. Okay, this is the phenomena. Restriction enzyme cut the strand at a little away from the center of a palindromic sites, but between the same two bases. Okay, here you can see same two bases, means if eco R1 is cutting between A and G nucleotides. Okay, so if A and G in between they are cutting, then here also in between A and G they will cut. So palindromic site, but between the same two bases on the opposite strand, these leaves a single stranded overhanging stretches. Here you can see as a result of that you can observe it will leave the single stranded overhanging stretches at the end. They are called sticky end. Such a hanging strand you can see it is called sticky end. Now let me understand more about sticky end by using this diagram. So here you can see this is the palindromic sequence, and suppose you are using restriction enzyme which cut between A and G, that is a nitrogen basis. So cutting is done here, as a result of that you can see here two fragments are obtained, and both the fragment have the ends like affinity to each other, means both will have affinity to each other. As you know, T have the affinity towards the A, T have affinity towards the A, for the A have the affinity towards the T. Okay, so whenever you bring these two fragments in near to each other, they will automatically rejoin. As a result of that, you will get the recombinant DNA. That's why sticky ends play a very important role in this. Now let me compare in between sticky ends and blunt ends. So it is matter, here you can see palindromic sequence is same, but it is matter which type of enzyme you are using for the cutting of DNA fragment. Okay, so if you are cutting with the eco R1, they will form this type of a sticky end, and this is very important to form. Okay, otherwise they will not play important role for the recombination of a DNA. That's why it is very essential to form sticky ends only. Okay, so here you can see this is a eco R5. The restriction enzyme we are using is the eco R5, and if you are using this will form a blunt ends. So these blunt ends do not have any function in recombinant DNA technology or a biotechnology. So only sticky ends will be accepted in a biotechnology, and these blunt end will be rejected. As I told you, so many number of restriction enzymes were isolated from number of bacteria. More than 900 restriction enzymes were isolated. So here very important list of restriction enzymes along with the organism and along with their palindromic sequence. So try to remember as much as you can do. Okay, so here some list and very important, and which type of enzyme is isolated from which type of organism and which is the palindromic sequence for that. And here also it is given in between which strand or which nitrogen bases they will. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize all topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
The construction of recombinant DNA molecules is a very sophisticated scientific technique involving the use of several key tools, one of which is restriction enzymes. These enzymes are isolated from bacteria that recognize specific sequences in DNA. Then, they are used to cut the DNA to produce restriction fragments. restriction enzymes are assumed to provide a defense mechanism against several deadly viruses such as bacteriophages. They belong to a higher class of enzymes called nucleases, which have the ability to cleave the phosphodiester bonds between the nucleotide subunits of nucleic acids. The nucleases are categorized as exonucleases and endonucleases. Exonucleases remove nucleotides from the end of the polynucleotide chain. They hydrolyze phosphodiester bonds of terminal nucleotides, while endonucleases cut the DNA at specific points and are thus known as molecular scissors. Let's study how restriction endonuclease was discovered. In 1963, scientists Stuart Lin and Werner Aber were successful in isolating the enzymes responsible for restricting the growth of bacteriophage in E. coli. One of these enzymes methylated the host DNA, while the other cut the foreign DNA. The second enzyme was called restriction endonuclease. Thereafter, in 1968, scientists H. O. Smith, K. W. Wilcox, and T. J. Kelly, while working on Haemophilus influenzae, isolated an enzyme called HindII. HindII was the first restriction endonuclease whose functioning depended on a specific DNA nucleotide sequence. It was observed that HindII always cut DNA molecules at a particular point by recognizing the position of the 6 base pairs. Therefore, the specific base sequence is also known as the recognition sequence for HindII. Today, more than 900 restriction enzymes have been isolated from around 230 strains of bacteria, each of which recognizes different recognition sequences. Restriction enzymes are named using a specific convention. Let's take the example of restriction enzyme EcoR1, which is derived from the bacteria Escherichia coli. The first letter of the name, E, is derived from the genus, while the next 2 letters, CO, come from the species of the prokaryotic cell from which these genes were isolated. R refers to the strain, while the Roman number indicates the order in which the enzyme was isolated from the strain of bacteria. Restriction endonuclease plays a crucial role in the construction of the recombinant DNA molecule. It recognizes a specific recognition sequence, so it binds to the DNA and cuts the double-stranded DNA helix at specific points on its sugar phosphate backbones. The specific recognition sequence actually identifies a palindrome in the DNA. Observe that the following sequence reads the same on the 2 DNA strands in 5' to 3' direction and vice versa. In a palindrome, the base sequence of the second half in the DNA strand represents the mirror image of the base sequence in the first half. Due to this, in the DNA double helix, the complementary strand also represents the same mirror image. Restriction endonucleases cut the DNA strand slightly away from the center of the palindrome sites. However, this cut is between the same 2 bases on the opposite DNA strands. As a result, single-stranded portions are left at the ends. Moreover, there are overhanging stretches called sticky ends on each strand. Such ends are called sticky or cohesive ends because base pairing between them can stick the DNA molecule together again. Thus, restriction endonucleases play a crucial role in the construction of recombinant DNA molecules, which have DNA from different sources. When the same restriction enzyme cuts different DNA molecules, all of them are left with similar sticky ends, which can be linked using DNA ligase. Therefore, restriction enzymes are very useful tools used by molecular biologists to manipulate DNA for scientific applications.
In next lecture, we'll discuss about second tool of biotechnology, and that is cloning vector. So till that, goodbye.